Hello friends, so far we have studied the general electrophilic addition reaction as well as the hydrohalogenation in alkene. In this part, we will discuss other electrophilic addition reactions such as addition of halogen, addition of hypohalous acid, addition of water, and the hydroxylation of alkene, in which there is a addition of two OH group across the carbon double bond carbon. In the first and second addition of halogen and addition of hypohalous acid, halogen is used in one reaction. There is a presence of inert solvent, and in other reaction there is a presence of water. So we will start with the addition of halogen. Addition of halogen, it is also called as a halogenation reaction. This reaction is carried out in presence of inert solvent. So the first, what is meant by inert solvent? The solvent which are used in the chemical reaction, but they are not taking part in the chemical reaction. They are called as a inert solvent. Basically, a CCl4, a CH2Cl2, that is carbon tetrachloride, or a dichloromethane. This type of solvents, they are used as an inert solvent. So when alkene is treated with the halogen in presence of inert solvent, we get a vicinal dihalide. Vicinal because the two halogen, they are attached to the carbon and these carbons are neighboring. So it is the vicinal. Now see the reaction of alkene with the iodine. Similar reaction is there. We get a vicinal diiodide, but see this arrow. It is the equilibrium arrow, and the equilibrium is shifted towards the reactant side. It means that whatever the product which is formed, vicinal diiodide, it gets converted back to the reactant. So actually we can't get here more yield of vicinal diiodide. This is the case of iodine. Now, if we choose fluorine, then this alkene, it will react with the fluorine, no doubt, but there is an explosive reaction and we cannot handle this reaction. That's why in the halogenation process, we will see only chlorine and bromine. They reacts with the alkene smoothly and they gives corresponding dihalide product. Let's see the reaction of ethene and propene. It is the symmetrical alkene, it is unsymmetrical alkene, but we are getting here only one product, dichloroethane 1,2-dibromopropane. Why? Because a Cl2 as well as Br2, they are symmetrical one. So we cannot apply a Markovnikov rule here. Just we have to attach whatever the halogens present to the carbon atom here. So here Cl, it will attach here, another Cl attach here. So in this way we get a dihalide. Now when we check the rate of reaction depends upon the electron richness of the alkene and electron density of the alkene, or electron richness of the alkene increases with the increasing alkyl substituent. So more number of alkyl substituent, more is the rate. Less substituent, less rate. So the rate of reaction increases with the increasing alkyl substituent. Now see the mechanism of halogenation reaction. Mechanism of addition of halogen or the halogenation reaction. Before starting with the mechanism, we know that electrophilic addition reaction occurs through the formation of pi complex, which will convert into the carbocation, and finally we get a addition product. These are the three steps in the general electrophilic addition reaction. But in case of halogenation, what happens? If you see the electrophilic reagent, it is the Br single bond Br. Both the Br possesses a lone pair. Therefore, out of which one is acting as an electrophile, then second part it is a nucleophile. So the electrophile possesses a lone pair. That's why instead of carbocation, here we get a formation of a cyclic ion after the formation of pi complex. So the halogenation involves the formation of cyclic ion, and that cyclic ion is nothing but the halonium ion. Here we have taken the Br, that's why there is a formation of bromonium ion after the formation of pi complex. Let's see the first step. It is the polarization of halogen. When the alkene and Br2 came in contact with each other, the pi cloud on the alkene causes polarization of this Br2 molecule. It gives a Br delta plus Br delta negative, that is minus. So this polarized molecule, it will react with the alkene in the second step and it will form a pi complex. Then this pi complex convert it into the cyclic ion, that is a bromonium ion. How? Suppose a lone pair on present on the Br, then this pi bond it will attack on the Br, and this Br it is removed as a halide ion. Then the lone pair which are present on this Br it will attack on this carbon. So that here we get the cyclic ring formation. It is the bromonium ion. And in the last step, this bromonium ion it will react with the nucleophile, that is Br minus, and we get 1,2-dibromopropane. But this reaction involves the anti-addition of a nucleophile, that is this Br it will attack from the backside of the bromonium ion on this carbon or on this carbon, and we get a transvicinal dihalide. So the mechanism, two key points are there: formation of halonium ion, and second one is the anti-addition. So this is about the halogenation. The next reaction is the addition of hypohalous acid. In the previous point we have seen X2 when it is treated with the alkene in presence of inert solvent, there is the addition of two halogen across carbon double bond carbon and it gives dihalide. In this reaction, when halogen is taken and it is reacted with the alkene in presence of water, then what happens? From the halogen, one atom is attached to the carbon, and from this water, a OH group is attached to the carbon. This reaction is called as a addition of hypohalous acid. So X2 plus water, it will provide HOX, that is hypohalous acid. So in this reaction, we can write X2 and water, or we can write HOX. So these are the general reaction for addition of hypohalous acid. Just we have to write one halogen and one OH group across the carbon double bond carbon, and we get here a halohydrin as a product. It may be a chlorohydrin, bromohydrin. Now the reactions are: ethene reacts with the chlorine in presence of water to give ethylene chlorohydrin. Propene reacts with the bromine in presence of water to give propylene bromohydrin. And in case of unsymmetrical alkene, as the electrophilic reagent is unsymmetrical one, see here HO and X, that's why we have to apply a Markovnikov rule in case of unsymmetrical alkene addition reaction. Now we will see the mechanism of addition of hypohalous acid. The addition of hypohalous acid involves the first step in which there is addition of halogen to form a halonium ion. So the halogen is added in the first step. That's why there should be a formation of halonium ion, because the halogen possesses a lone pair, as we have discussed in the mechanism of halogenation. So propene reacts with the chlorine to form chloronium ion after the formation of pi complex. Pi complex will convert into the chloronium ion. This chloronium ion, it reacts with the water to form an intermediate. Now you can see here there is a presence of nucleophile, that is Cl minus, that is halide. And in the second step, a chloronium ion reacts with the water. How it is possible? The structure of water, we know that and this oxygen possesses a lone pair, and we have taken water as a solvent. So the concentration of water is more, as well as the nucleophilic power of the water is more as compared to the halide. That's why in the second step, this water acts as a nucleophile rather than Cl minus. So in the next step, this water will attack on the halonium ion, but the attack, it is a specific one or regioselective. It will attack on the carbon which is highly substituted, CH and CH2. Here there is a presence of CH3, so it is a substituted one. So water will attack on the substituted carbon to give corresponding intermediate. Now in the last step, there is a deprotonation, that is H plus ion is removed and we get a propylene chlorohydrate. So in this mechanism, we have to keep in mind a formation of halonium ion, then attack of water on the substituted carbon, and this addition is always anti-addition. It means that the OH group and Cl group, they are opposite to each other. The third point in this video, it is the addition of water. It is also called as a hydration. Addition of water means addition of H plus ion and OH minus ion across the carbon double bond carbon. So there is a formation of corresponding alcohol. This H plus and OH minus. Therefore, there is a unsymmetrical electrophilic reagent. So the general reaction, alkene reacts with the water in presence of acid catalyst. This is the important condition. Acid catalyst is there. It will give a corresponding alcohol. See the example. Ethene reacts with the water in presence of acid to give ethyl alcohol. This hydrogen, it will attach to this carbon. OH will attach to this carbon and we get ethyl alcohol. In case of propane, there is a Markovnikov of addition. This hydrogen, it will attach to the carbon which is having more number of hydrogen, and this OH, it will attach to this carbon because unsymmetrical alkene is there, unsymmetrical electrophilic reagent is there, and we get Markovnikov addition product, that is 2-propanol. Now we will see the mechanism of addition of water. The mechanism of hydration reaction involves the protonation of alkene is the first step. This step, it will occur in presence of acid as a catalyst. Water cannot protonate the alkene alone. So we need acid as a catalyst, that is H2SO4 HCl. They provide the H plus ion and that will protonate the alkene and it will form a more stable carbocation. I am saying here a more stable carbocation. In case of unsymmetrical alkene, protonation occurs to form more stable carbocation. This is the first step. Then the carbocation reacts with the water to give intermediate. This is simple step. It will directly attack on this carbon to form intermediate. And in the third step, there is a loss of proton. It is called as a deprotonation and we get a corresponding alcohol. See, this is the 2-propanol. We are not getting here 1-propanol. So there is a Markovnikov addition. Which addition? Markovnikov addition, because unsymmetrical alkene is there, that is propane, and reagent is also unsymmetrical. That's why we get the Markovnikov addition product. In this mechanism, we have to remember the presence of acid. They provides the H plus ion. So in the hydration reaction, H plus ion, they came from the acid, that is from the catalyst. It is the key step in the hydration reaction. Now we will see the next, that is hydroxylation. In presence of water, we cannot add 2 OH group across the carbon double bond carbon. To add 2 OH group across the carbon double bond carbon, we have to take a specific reagent that is called as a KMnO4, that is potassium permanganate, or OSO4. It causes the addition of 2 OH group across the carbon double bond carbon, and this process is known as a hydroxylation. It will give the diols, that is 1,2-diol. So the hydroxylation is used for the formation of 1,2-diol. It is also called as a glycol. see the general reaction. Alkene reacts with the water and it is oxidized in presence of KMnO4 to give corresponding glycol. Ethene, it gives ethylene glycol. Propene, it gives propylene glycol. As we are adding here a 2OH group. These are similar one, so it is a symmetrical. So we cannot apply a Markovnikov addition here if there is a presence of unsymmetrical alkene also. So just we have to add 2OH group across the carbon double bond carbon. Now let's see the mechanism. The mechanism of hydroxylation, it is a specific mechanism. It doesn't involve the formation of carbocation, but it is the addition reaction, no doubt. First step is the formation of cyclic intermediate. Alkene reacts with the KMnO4. Then there is a cycloaddition of this KMnO4 across the carbon double bond carbon, and it will give a cyclic intermediate, that is 5-membered ring. And this cyclic intermediate, when it is hydrolyzed in presence of water, then there is a breaking of manganese and oxygen bond. Here hydrogen, here OH, then hydrogen and OH, they are added for the breaking of this bond, and here we get a corresponding propylene glycol with the formation of this compound. This compound upon dehydration gives MnO2. It is having a brown color. It is having a brown color. Now this KMnO4 test, it is used for the detection of unsaturation in the organic compound. We are generally use this test in the organic spotting to check whether the compound is unsaturated or saturated. For that purpose, a KMnO4 which is having a purple color, it is diluted and we get a faint pink color. Then this solution is added to the solution of organic compound. Organic compound is dissolved in the water or any other solvent, then this KMnO4 is added. If after the adding of KMnO4, the color of KMnO4 disappears in this test tube, then it is the positive test. It indicates that there is a presence of unsaturation. Why? KMnO4 reacts with the double bond and it gives corresponding glycol. So KMnO4 is utilized. Therefore, the color is disappeared. And there is a formation of brown sludge, that is MnO2. This type of reaction is observed. And if the color of KMnO4 remains same in the test tube, it indicates that unsaturation is absent. KMnO4 remains as it is. There is no reaction. This test is known as a Beer test. So it is useful to determine the unsaturation in the organic compound. This is all about the electrophilic addition of halogen, hypohalous acid, water, as well as the hydroxylation. So we have seen the general reaction as well as the mechanism. And with this, we will stop here. In the next video, we will see the addition of hydrogen, ozonolysis, as well as hydroboration and oxidation reaction of alkene.